you have come such a long way. I'm super pumped and I'm super proud of you and for you and all the things that you're going to create. There's just a few more things that we want to dig into when it comes to best practices. Running a tech check. A tech check is to make sure that all of the different pieces of equipment, from the hardware tools like your microphone and your camera, are functioning and operating properly, to making sure that the software tools that you're using, or even any websites or Chrome browsers or Safari browsers or whatever it is that you're choosing to use, are functioning and operating the way that you're supposed to have them operate on whatever it is that you envision. You want to make sure that things are working right. So the tech check is to really make sure, check your volumes. Is the volume correct and the way that you have it usually set for yourself, or did you maybe actually hit a button and things changed up on you a bit? Checking your camera to make sure that the battery life is still sufficient and that you're not running out of battery life or you're running off of an AC powered source. And honestly, simple things like making sure the cable is pushed all the way into the ports and making sure it's all the way connected and plugged in. Sometimes your kids or your pets can get a hold to your setup while you're away. And so you think things are the way that you left them when you left your office or recording space, but something has changed. So you just want to do a quick once over to make sure everything is operating the way it's supposed to, sounding and looking the way that it's supposed to. Another major area you want to check when it comes to a tech check is making sure your audio is correct. Is your audience able to clearly hear you? And you can do this with the recorded only feature in Ecamm, so that you're able to test, how are things actually working out? Are you coming in very loud or are you coming in very soft? You want to make sure you're anywhere between 60 to 70% on the headphone volume levels when you're listening to yourself, just to make sure that when your audience hears you, they're hearing you properly. Sometimes if you have your headphones all the way up, you may think that you're really loud and your audience is saying that you're really soft. And the only difference may just be how loud you're listening to yourself or listening to the assets within your show and trying to figure out why are things so off. So you want to make sure you're verifying the way that you're hearing things is the same way that your audience is hearing things. And knowing that, let's say you want to play music in the background, we're not going to have the music at 20, 30, even 50%. That's way too loud. We want to make sure it's underneath us. And so we may have that at a 4 or 6. So that way it is very low. So the audience isn't introduced to audio exhaustion and leave the show prematurely. Planning an interview. Your interview is going to be one of the most dynamic things that you can do on your show. It really introduces a different level of conversation, a different tonality, just a whole different vibe to your overall show aesthetic, especially if you're used to doing shows by yourself. It can introduce you to new audiences and introduce your audience to people that are within your network that may be able to serve them. But in order to serve them best, we want to make sure that the interviewee is actually represented well. So when it comes to best practices when you're working with a guest, is making sure that you're having them join your show 15 to 20 minutes before the show start time. You want to make sure that they actually aren't running late. So you may want to push this a little bit earlier and say about 20 to 25 minutes before the show. If you know that a person is notoriously late, that way you have the actual wiggle room that you need to make sure their microphone works. And if it doesn't, that they have a backup source. One of the best things that you can have is a list of things for them to check before they join, or things that are very helpful for all of your guests, like wearing headphones. Oftentimes we want to be as comfortable on a live stream with our interviewees the same way we are when it comes to FaceTime or Google Meets, and that's not going to work. You really want to make sure that you're having and maintaining that professional quality, that all the things that you just went through in this Ecamm Simplified course are maintained throughout your interview. So you wear headphones as well as they wear headphones. When you don't, and you're expecting all of these systems and programs to do the heavy lifting for you, wondering why you sound weird or why things are off, sometimes it may be just as simple as wearing headphones. So making sure, even if you have a Bluetooth set, batteries run low, connections disappear, make sure you have a wired set ready to go. Here's a few helpful tips that you want to make sure you go through with your guest. Check their audio and video levels to make sure their camera is working great, as well as their audio is working well so they can be heard clearly. Test their screen share and presentation slides are working the way that they're supposed to. Make sure your guest is very comfortable if they're using the Ecamm interview feature, just so they know what the different icons mean, what to click on to operate if they want to share their screen or to be able to share a presentation while they're on your show. Make sure your guest knows how to mute and unmute themselves. Let's say if they have a sneeze, make sure that your guest also knows how to turn on and off their camera, as well as being able to make sure that the camera is connected properly. Again, just making sure things are connected up well. When it comes to guest management, this is where your job has to come into play, of making sure that when you bring someone on, you know that they're going to go exactly in the place that you assign them. So when a guest comes in, the first things that we want to do is make sure we assign them to a seat, kind of like musical chairs, but instead of us walking around the chairs, we're picking the chair up with us. And this chair is our assigned seat. So if you have guest number 1 come in, let's say that guest is Sean, you want to go ahead and pick that guest and select their name from the drop-down box and use them for anything that you have guest 1 set up for. This will trail you all the way through Ecamm to make sure that any screen share options or anything that has that guest 1 seat, this one is specifically saved for them. The great thing that you also want to check is not just leave it up to them to make sure their audio is working, but you making sure that the audio actually sounds good. So before you go live, you can actually hit the record button on your actual Ecamm program, have them talk for just a few seconds and you talk as well, and then actually listen back to that audio. Are they too low or are they too loud? And leveraging some of the functions of being able to turn the volume up for a speaker or decrease the volume for a speaker, and making sure that they aren't slid all the way over to the right on the slider bar for their volume, just to make sure you have some wiggle room if you need to turn their volume up or down as you need to during your show. The thing that's going to help you the best as you're going through your live show is to get more comfortable being on camera and getting more comfortable actually operating your live show. First thing that you can do is honestly relax. Everyone at some point, even your favorite live streamers, have had their first and maybe several flops after their first live show. No one is going to care that you're new. People are only going to care that you actually care about their problems, their pain points, and why it is that you decided to go live that day. So just take a breather and relax and know that you will get better over time. And the second thing that you want to do is make sure that you're keeping it simple. If you start to make things too complex too soon, then things will start to be too complex too soon. And the more that you start to get frustrated about even just showing up for live stream, even if you never use any of these things and you literally just went live on your phone, will keep you from actually showing up for the people that need you the most. So keep your streams as simple as they need to be. And then just know that even as new features and new functions are available, you don't have to use them right away. You can get comfortable with what you have and add on one new feature at a time, so that you have time to test it, get comfortable with it, and properly integrate new features and functions into your show without feeling like you have to use everything all the time just because it's available. Ecamm can be as simple as you need it to be or as complex as you desire it to be. And lastly, live streaming is a process, and so is getting comfortable on camera. As you're going through and you're live streaming or you're showing up for the very first time, or even the first 10 or 20 or 30 times, you get more comfortable the more that you do it. You will get more uncomfortable the least that you do it. So if you're only streaming once a month and you're just getting started live streaming, you will feel uncomfortable. You will do way better to do unlisted and private streams on a weekly basis, even if you only have a once a month show, simply because you'll get familiar with what to click on and what to do. You'll get familiar with having a chat that's constantly flowing and growing. But the thing is that no one cares that this is your first time. They only care that you care about them, their problems, their pain points, and why you showed up today. So just know that getting comfortable on camera is not a state of being that comes overnight. It's something that happens the more that you do it. And repetition is the mother of all learning. So if you want to learn how to live stream effectively, efficiently, and really be an Ecamm pro, you have to constantly use the tools of the trade. Nobody ever built a house successfully only having one nail and one hammer. So use your tools wisely, build a show that represents your brand and amplifies your message, and just make sure that you're having fun. I'm so pumped and proud for you, and welcome to Ecamm Live.